Welcome, baseball fans, to this edition of State of MLB. Well, what do we have here? A bunch of crybabies between the league and the Players Association. This week, let's give you a quick recap. There's been a lot of tit for tat over an 82-game season. The Players Association rejected that and said we want to play a 114-game season. The league this week has rejected the 114-game proposal and said we're not going to give you a counter offer, but we're looking for more like a 40-50 game season. So while that wasn't an official counter offer, that's what they've said in the news. We're looking more for a 40 or 50 game season, and fundamentally the reason behind that is it comes down to dollars and cents. Yes, we're talking about billionaire owners and millionaire players. I get that. The tit for tat in the news over very, very wealthy people who make more money in a year than many of us will make in a lifetime. It's just really sad to see you come down to this. It makes the game look really, really bad. It reminds me of the lockout in 1994, where they went on a strike over money. Oh, are you freaking kidding me? You get to play the greatest game in the world, and how many times have you seen people comment how they would love to have played the game for free if they could? Granted, those are Hollywood scenes mostly, I get that. But you still, there's a love for the game. And it's definitely something the fans thirst for. And the players grew up idolizing and loving and spending their lives harnessing the craft just to be able to play. And then we get to this stuff. Absolute child's play. Kindergarten crap. But let's go ahead and break down some brass tacks here, because there's fundamentally a reason for all this. What it comes down to is that until the lockdowns end and it becomes safe for people to resume social gatherings in small spaces like baseball stadiums, they're looking at starting the season off with no fans in the stadium. What does that do? That removes 40% of the owners and the league's revenue streams. Ticket sales, food sales, parking, merchandise, all those things fuel 40% of their multi-billion-dollar annual revenues. Just TV contracts alone, broadcasting rights, come down to about $980,000 per game, which seems like a lot. But when you tally up all the players across the league, when you break down how much money paying all of them per game would cost the league, you're looking at over $1,600,000 per game, which means that every single game you play, yes, the players are making their money on a prorated basis, but the owners, the league, all the people who have to pay these bills are losing $640,000 per game. And they have already been in good faith announced that they are willing to eat large sums of money to bring the game back and take that, but the per game loss. The thing is, they don't want to do that over a very long period of time, and so they're willing to give baseball players a 40-50 game stretch to get some sort of pseudo season going on there, then get to the playoffs, because that's where the money machine is, because you make a lot more money on broadcasting rights during the playoffs than you do during regular season, but you can't have playoffs without a season. So get some sort of resemblance of a season, get some games in there, take the hit on that, and get us to that postseason. Give the fans a game, and then get to where we can hopefully make some break even on there. And you never know, perhaps toward the end of the season, as we get closer and closer, or further away from the pandemic, who knows, maybe the medical science will say, hey, we either have a vaccine or we have some sort of new discoveries in our case logs or whatever it is that will allow groups to slowly begin collecting in large numbers in close quarters again, like stadiums. In any event, the reality matter is that nothing happens until Rob Manfred, the commission of MLB, creates a schedule. Granted, the league and the players still have to agree on how many games to play, but the final decision on the schedule will ultimately come down to Manfred, whether he says we're going to play 40, we're going to play 50, we're going to play 82, whatever it is. His he is responsible for declaring this is the schedule we're gonna have, and you guys either honor that schedule or we go into shutdown. Or we get replacement players. We do something else. But fundamentally, when he has said this is the schedule, that's it. That he has that authority. Which brings us back to, are we going to end up? Well, granted, it isn't really the same thing as 1994 because in 1994 you had the opportunity to play a full season. You had the opportunity for players to get paid their current salaries, regardless of negotiations. They're getting pay raises or what have you. They had the ability to get paid something for a full season and make their money. Owners could make their money, what have you, and they could not agree, and it tainted the game of baseball, and it took a lot to revive the game, and even now, the game is struggling to some degree with viewership, and I understand that. A lot of think about the whole pace of the game and everything, and fundamentally, I understand their argument. At the same time, from a personal level, the intensity of what's going to happen on the next pitch. Is it going to be a foul? Is it going to be a home run? Is it going to be a hit? Is it going to bring somebody in? The fact that there's so much unknown with any given pitch, as a baseball fan, the suspense, the drama of that is like watching a cliffhanger on your favorite TV show. You're on the edge of your seat trying to wondering what's going to happen next, and that anticipation just fuels the adrenaline, fuels the fire in your belly, and it makes you keep watching. Whereas, look at sports like football, where you spend half the game with players sitting around huddle, waiting for a 10-second play, and then you spend 2-3 minutes waiting for the next one. It's like, I have fallen asleep watching football. I really have. It is so boring. Oh my god. Now, that's where the part where you should be laughing here, because so many people talk about how quote-unquote baseball is boring and you could fall asleep and you can just listen to it passively and not pay much attention to it. I listen to me call football boring. I totally get it. It's hilarious. Because it sounds ironic as hell, doesn't it? But fundamentally, as a purist of baseball, I've always found baseball highly intriguing, and all the standing around and winning in football would be very, very boring. So I've never been much of a fan of football, plus the fact it's only one game a week. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, even basketball and hockey have like 2 or 3, maybe as many as 4 games in a given week. Baseball, we are showered with 6 or 7 games a week. It's a beautiful thing. You had a rough day, put the game on. You have time out with the family, put the game on. You need some to relax, put the game on. It's a beautiful thing. Sure, when your game has a night off, the rest of the league is still playing. There's a game every day of the week. It's such a beautiful game. I love it. I love it. But it's just, when you have 1994 was a huge deal in the game. It really, really was. It took a long time for baseball to recover. People could argue whether or not it actually did recover. In my opinion, it sucked not having baseball, but 1995 coming back, having the Seattle Mariners go to the ALCS, and then the New York Yankees breaking a 17-year streak in 1996, and you got the home run derby with McGuire and Sosa, and you got these all these no-hitters going on with Wells, Cohen, and so many others. There was just so much that happened after the lockout to rebound the game and to bring the excitement back and to fill the stadiums up and to bring all the fans back. And fundamentally, if baseball is the only league between hockey, basketball, football, and MLS and everybody else that cannot work this out, shame on them. As a baseball lover, passionate about the game, but it's disgraceful to see them go if they can't figure this out. Let cooler heads prevail. Come to some sort of terms of agreement. Player Association has to recognize that there are significant costs, disadvantages to the league. Yes, they're billionaires, but this is a business. They're trying to make money, and they're in good faith trying to take those certain losses to a certain degree to help provide the game. League, they have to recognize that they've already taken a prorated cut on their salaries. They're not getting their full salaries, and there has to be some sort of compromise going on there between number of games, salaries, whatever it is. You gotta figure something out for the sake of the game? Do both sides need to give a little more? Perhaps, because obviously getting stuck in your corners isn't getting the job done. Figure it out, baseball. You owe it to your fan base who make everything possible with their hard-earned dollars for this game to happen. I would love to hear what all of you think about what I think. Do you think that they can work this out? Do you think it's going to be a baseball season this year? In my opinion, it's looking less and less likely because fundamentally, haven't agreed on anything yet. And even once they do agree, they still need to have a pseudo 2-3 week spring training thing to get players back up to speed at baseball level. Plus, you have to do that conditioning and everything to ramp that up. And yeah, sure, they're staying in shape, but you got to ramp that up to play full-scale mode for live baseball. And then you got to go through the games, get to the playoffs. I mean, and fundamentally, this is not a game that is traditionally played in cold weather. You have to have the ability to end this at a certain point and get to a postseason. If it gets too late in the year, it's just not going to be realistic to put all that together, and then there won't be a season, and then shame on you, baseball, really, because fundamentally, here's the thing, the other leagues are already working it out. Football is already slated to resume normal season, and they're having started their spring training, their preseason yet, and their workouts. Basketball and hockey are already working ahead towards getting into they're already talking about how they're going to structure the playoffs. So whether they have the rest of their season or they have to play games or whatever it is, they're already committed to resuming their sports. The only one on the fringe here is baseball. So it's just like, you guys gotta work it out. You guys gotta work it out. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think they can work it out? Do you think there's going to be a season? Or do you think it's going to be a wash and that in the season, and then they're going to have to do some massive revitalization next year to try and bring fans back and tuck this head between the legs, saying, "I'm sorry, we're being childish here. We paid the ultimate price by losing our fan base, by losing the games, losing everything, and now we need to try and make some good faith effort to bring you all back." What do you think is going to happen? Leave your comment section below. If you just happen to find this video as you're surfing through YouTube, please hit like and subscribe. It greatly helps the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.